Hello and welcome back to the Shifting Realms. Tonight we're going to be doing another one of our special episodes, one of our character vignettes where we are joined by a single player. Tonight, we are joined by Noah, who plays Icarus. Noah, how are you feeling tonight?
Feeling nervous, I'm feeling scared, I'm feeling ready. I'm going to kick my past's butt because, well, I have time for that.
Will there be any attempt to rewrite your past or to make it better than you remember it?
If not now, later.
Yeah. I mean, or you could always go with the other freer option. I think it's a cantrip and it's called just pushing it down. If you'd like to cast
6 seconds of procrastination? Absolutely.
100%. Now, we know how Noah's feeling, but as Icarus, maybe begrudgingly, is forced to recall and remember their first mission, if you can even call it that, how do you think they're feeling about what's about to happen this evening?
Well, before the mission, I think we would call this an ATL, an all-time low. Yeah, he's at rock bottom right now. So it's only up from here.
I'm so sorry to hear it. I feel like most of the vignettes have been really cheery and positive.
That's what I've heard.
And so I'm really sorry that this is what Icarus is experiencing. No
Well,
creation of my own.
You know, we can't all have happy endings like some of the other players.
So true. So true. Well, I think we should run the intro. We'll figure out if your memory of the past is actually accurate or if there's some things maybe
If
off.
not, I'll go check.
There's always time to change it. Isn't that right? We'll be right back.
Tulu, what do you think? I'm looking for something. Something that I need for one of my potions. There's one. Everyone, I found it. The saffron field cap.
People ask me, am I a good person or a bad person? I don't even know if I am a person. I have no memory from before I met these people. They're the only friends I have, and I will protect them.
Stick close. Anything could be out there. Trust me. Dying isn't the worst thing that'll happen to you out here. What's out there? I've seen what it can do, and I won't let it happen again. Can't fix what she did.
Oh, that sounds simply dreadful. You must have been terrified. Would you mind repeating that last part? Don't be afraid to really slow it down. Let's dig into the details.
Usually, when walking into a situation, I shoot first and ask questions later. Gives me the best kind of information.
The secrets of Archaeath and the Arcs. Why, we've hardly scratched the surface. I intend to make the first dent. Where you see binaries, I see an alloy. Divine, arcane, wholly separate forms of the weave. I have combined them.
You know, it's the weirdos who want to save the world, usually the lunatics who endanger it. Hey, you know, that's pretty good. I'm going to write that down. Hold on, where's my pen? Where's my pen?
For most individuals, the concept of graduating, moving on to whatever comes next in one's life is a time period to be celebrated, something to recall with really powerful and positive emotions. Oftentimes, especially in this setting, someone who is able to ascend and not only graduate from Archaeith Academy, but from the College of the Weave, to be surrounded by their closest friends, their most important confidants, their family, their loved ones. It is a joyous occasion. Icarus, it's been 1 year since you graduated from the College of the Weave. There was no pomp and circumstance. There is no music. There was no large gathering. Well, there was one large gathering. There was no one to offer you congratulations. There was no one to say, "Good job, son." Icarus, it's been 1 year since you graduated from the College of the Weave. Tell us about your life.
Icarus, well known for his aura, we'll say, of better than thou, finds himself in a borrowed-in room, riding there on the goodwill of others and respect for his position more than maybe he holds himself. And what was supposed to be a few months or a few weeks turned into a few months, and a few months into a year. And what began as momentum and adrenaline motivated by guilt has now faded into just a ball of depression. And Icarus, with his clean hair, his literally always perfect robes, magically so.
You couldn't be dirty if you wanted to.
He could if he wanted to be. And I think he wants to be right now, because if you look around his room, he's definitely been overstaying his welcome. Piled high are plates of room service, and at first it looks like they'd been prestidigitated to be cleaned after he was done, but at some point he just gave up, and it's just trash. There are literal piles of crumpled notes of plans and ink bottles spilled, of pages ripped out and taped to the wall, and Icarus himself, his hair long and straggly, his facial hair, which no one has ever seen before, is rough and unkept. He's got bloodshot eyes. It looks like he hasn't been sleeping. There's empty bottles of liquor, and he doesn't look like he's in a good place. He's hunched over his Librum, and he's furiously scribbling notes, his hand just in like a claw over his hair, about to pull it out, and just muttering to himself as his watch lays on the desk in front of him, ticking.
You sit in your borrowed room at the inn, sitting on the goodwill of others, someone in your station so high above others. You've been told this. You've also felt this and known this. You have not wanted for anything. Merely your station, your presence, your persona, your aura, as you call it, is enough to demand favor, not just of those who work here at this inn, but the guest, individuals who are staying here, possibly on their vacations. They've gone out of their way. Is there anything you need? We're going out to the town today. We'd be more than happy to bring. No charge. They'll do anything you want. But I don't want to put words in your mouth, Icarus, but I think the only thing you want is instruction, guidance, goal. What is it you seek?
I seek to know, how long must I sit here? How long must you torture me? Have I not done enough for you people? What else do you want from me? I can't even focus. There's nothing. It's just a cloud over where my brilliance was. It's nothing. Never felt so pathetic. And this is what they wanted from me? This is what I did to graduate? How is this success?
You feel the word bounce around your head before it leaves your mouth and bounces around your disarrayed room. Pathetic. You remember standing in that hollowed hall. From the shadows, you saw the porcelain-masked figures sitting around on their high-backed chairs, gazing down on you for multiple tears. You saw as they gave you their nod of approval. They welcomed you into the organization, not just as a graduate of the College of the Weave, but of something bigger, something more, something better, something secret. They ushered you out into the world with a single instruction. Wait. We will call. And you thought for a moment that they might have misspoke, but individuals in these seats of power do not misspeak. They said, we will call when you are ready.
How more ready can I be? I just set me on anything. I'll do whatever they want at this point just to get out of this damn room. If they would have wanted someone patient, they wouldn't have chosen me. They should have known that. I just crumple up the piece of paper I'm working on and throw it in the pile in the back. And just grab a new one and my quill, and I just start scribbling something. And I don't even know if I'm paying attention to what.
You rip off the page and you find yourself looking at, for a brief moment, at the larger scrawling that you have down. It's equivalent to something of like a desk calendar. And you have to do something to help the days make sense. As they blur into each other, you have to track it. You're not necessarily losing your mind, Icarus, but without purpose for so long, without guidance, without instruction, without understanding why you made the choice that you did. Was it all for naught? Is this the price that you paid? Is this the power that they promised you? You look down and you realize it's not just roughly 1 year. On this calendar across your desk, it is exactly 1 year since your graduation, your anniversary, a celebration.
Leave it at the door.
You hear as a piece of paper slides under the door.
I go and pick it up.
You reach down for it, and it immediately begins to jostle about on its own. It forms itself into what appears to be the form of a great horned owl. It flitters there for a second. And then this piece of paper goes and sits over on the edge of the window.
I hesitate for a second. Just letting the last year wash over me as this kind of realization that, yes, this has been torturous, but at least it was simple. And I reach for the door, and I open it.
And before you see Alderock.
Professor?
Dark-skinned individual, roughly 6 foot, maybe approaching 6'1", either long white dreads braided down, pulled down, large beard with a little bit of beads still in there. They look the same as you remember them, the same as when you saw them in their raised dais at your last group gathering as a class.
Almost with his presence, Icarus then feels that wash of self-realization as he looks down at himself. His robe's transformed into a smoking jacket, and he's basically in his boxers. And give me a moment, and I'll close the door. And just I throw a towel over the owl's head, and I just try and as quickly as I can magically freshen up. Just shave as fast as I can, cut myself a few times, and throw on robe, something formal, anything you think.
You watch as it says you say something formal, and it begins to like go through like you're at the casino. And you pull down the lever, rotates down through on the slot machine, and then it says, and it looks down, and it matches. It looks like the same robes that you designed for yourself the first day that you picked this out.
Oh my god. I didn't think it would, Okay, that's fine. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Caught me unexpected.
I've waited 1 year. I imagine I can wait a little longer.
No. Please, come in. I'll snap my fingers and just like push some pile out of the way and create a stool. Please, make yourself at home. I should know I did.
It seems like you have, yes. How are you, my boy?
Do you want me to answer honestly?
I do.
I feel like I'm a broken man, but I think that's by design. Am I wrong?
It's twisted. What we do to the new initiates.
Yes, it is.
We needed to know if you were able to say goodbye.
And you think 1 year will tell you that?
No.
Then why now? Why not 6 months ago? Why not another year?
And he reaches down into a satchel that he always keeps down at his side. And he pulls out a box, maybe it's 1.5 feet by 1 foot long. And he holds it, but that's using that term loosely. It hovers above his hand just a little bit. It's not the year that will tell me if you're ready. I have your first mission.
Of course. Let's hear it then.
Here.
I've been waiting.
He transfers it from above his hand to above your hand, able to keep it afloat with just a steady stream of mana. It's not too hard for you whatsoever. This is essentially parlor tricks and child's play. He finally sits down. He gets back up with a little bit of work, and he goes over to his bird, takes the towel off of it. This way. The bird flies up, hops onto his shoulder, not remarkably dissimilar from what you've seen in and about his classroom while you were still a student before you graduated. He goes back down, and Dad sighs into the chair. What I have inside that box is of immense, immeasurable power. I need you to deliver it to someone for me.
What's inside of it?
I cannot tell you that.
How am I supposed to know the best way to deliver this and keep it out of the wrong hands if I don't even know what I'm dealing with?
If it leaves your hands, you've already failed.
Very well. This is what I must do. Where shall I deliver it?
Are you familiar with the Heart's Grove?
No.
It's to the west. It is north of the grove. It's a village. It's a village called Hope's Breath.
Hope's Breath.
He pulls out a little silver disc, and he puts the silver disc on top of this box. And he taps it, gives it a swirl, and you see what looks to be a little farmhouse up here. Find this house. Deliver the box, and you will be ready.
That's it. This is
begins to chuckle and coughs.
hardly a challenge.
It's never easy with us, is it?
No, that's why I'm suspicious.
Good.
And what is in Hope's Grove that you need this delivered for? What awaits me there?
And there is a wry smile that curls up on Alderach's lip. And he says, well, you're the delivery boy. Maybe you pick something up while you're there. Bring it back with you.
Is that it?
Unless you have any questions for me.
I do, of course. I haven't really spoken to anybody in, well, exactly a year.
You watch as Alderach looks over to your desk and seems to be looking in the exact location as to where your desk calendar is. Looks back to you.
How is she?
She's gone. She left after graduation.
I know. I mean, how is she?
My boy, I am quite powerful, old, and I do not dare to imagine what is going on inside her head right now.
Probably for the best then. How about the new students? Are you training anybody else? In case I don't succeed.
Are you asking if we have a replacement for you?
I am.
Allow me to stroke your ego again. There is no one to replace you. We have students, yes.
I think I needed that.
It's the least I could do.
Yes, it is. It is the least you could do. And he kind of stands up and brushes himself off. Do you want a souvenir? Or am I never going to see you again?
I think this snapshot in time is souvenir enough. Here, take Hecate. And you watch as the owl flits off of his shoulder onto your outstretched hands, your outstretched fingers.
Hello, old friend. Good to see you again. Sorry about the towel.
It's like a little bit damp, like it's like the ears are like dog-eared a little bit on the ears of the owl coming up, like kind of pushed up, more so like the tufts of hair.
I take it you're going to be my, my partner in whinging, if you don't mind.
Hecate knows the way if you get lost.
Well, I've never been much for direction, you know that. Having been only in 2 places my entire life, it does it to one person.
Well, I'm sure you know your way back and forth quite well. Here, help an old man up.
I reach out.
And as you grab his hand, you can smell that familiar smell that's like ozone, like something, there's gas in this space and it is rapidly expanding and pulling, and you can feel your senses fade for a moment as it is coming down to a singularity, and you feel yourself essentially being stretched. And you can hear his voice. I'll see you soon, my boy.
Bet you will. Piece of shit.
And there is a pop. And you find yourself sitting on a bench, carved from stone, sitting along the edge of a well-manicured but not well-traveled cart path.
Is the owl here?
Right on your shoulder. You look off to the horizon, you see rolling farms, fields, which means you must still be within the Verdant Dominion, somewhere on the continent of Iridia for the most part, taking your surroundings a little bit. You can see coming up a little bit further down the ways, there appears to be a cart coming your direction, heading from what would be the southeast to the northwest along this well-manicured but not so well-traveled cart path with a pair of aurochs, which are kind of like larger bison, leading it. What would you like to do before the cart gets to you?
Well, I look down to the owl and I stand up and I try and hail the cart over.
As the cart comes closer, You realize first that Hecate the owl comes up and off your shoulder and begins to circle about you for a little bit, almost in this figure 8 pattern, but the figure 8 almost seems to be leading and pushing towards that northwest direction, the same way that the cart appears to be heading. And as the cart gets to you, you can see the rider, the driver, kind of whoa.
Good morning, sir. I take it you're on your way to Hope's Breath?
Yeah, I am. I can't imagine you're planning on catching a ride, are you? This has been out of service for quite some time.
I was hoping I could. If payment is what you require, I'm sure I could scrounge together something.
And you watch as they bring their hand up to shield their eyes from the morning rays that are coming down, and as their hand is passing across their face and they block it for the first time, you can almost watch the realization as they see your robes and see your garb. Yes! Payment will not be an issue.
Good.
Whatsoever.
I don't have any.
Would you like to ride up front? Would you like to ride in the back? What would be best for you?
You know, it's been a bit since I've been outside. Why don't I ride in the front?
Do you know how to drive? If you would like to.
Oh no! By all means, you are the expert. I'm merely the passenger.
If you a moment, my lord. I'm so sorry.
Oh yes, I take plenty. Don't worry.
And starts reaching back in the back and gets a couple of sacks of flour and this hard wooden bench. They're kind of trying to make it almost like it's more padded. Put some burlap up over it. I hope this is. We don't get. It is a pleasure to meet you.
And you as well. Please call me. I guess you don't need to know my name. What is yours?
I wouldn't dare to deem it, my lord, and I would not. You may call me Rolange.
Rolange. Well, the pleasure is mine, Rolange, and I don't think I could do the important business I need to do without your help. So consider that you are playing your part in, well, the great cosmos of fate, and this is what you were born to be, the cart rider for this moment.
So, a single tear begins to stream
yes,
down
please.
Thank you.
I will kind of push it back into his eye. No need for that.
Thank you. It's beginning a little bit of bloodshot in that area where you push it up there. Thank you. I shouldn't have done that.
I'll hop into the cart. Shall we? Daylight's burning, as they say.
Oh, I'm so sorry. And immediately begins Sha! And the orcs aren't fast creatures. They begin to lumber off at the same pace that they were at previously. It's quite slow. And you can watch as you pull out your pocket watch, beads of sweat are just coming down this dude's face.
Is it hot outside?
No.
You all right? Spicy food, maybe?
Is the pace not to your liking, my lord?
Always could be faster. Don't take it personally.
And he stops the cart.
Not really what I had in mind.
And gets down, and you watch as he goes into this huddle down with the aurochs up in front.
Oh dear.
And you hear hushed overtones. This is it. This is our opportunity. We will never get this again. Do not make a fool of me here.
Is it going okay down there, Ryan?
Oh! And you watch as they're my name's not Ryan. But they don't say that. You know they're thinking it. Yes, my lord! Everything is great. There was something. And they start looking at the fur around their necks. Pulls out a clod of dirt. I think this was the problem.
Oh yes, the classic neck.
Throws it off to the side. And gets back on there. Deep breath. Please don't make a fool of me. Yeah! And they do move about 1 to 2 miles per hour quicker.
You know, I'm impressed, Roland.
Thank you, my lord. Thank you.
I think this is record-breaking speed.
I appreciate the kind words. If I may break this silence with some conversation, what brings you so far out here?
Important business, business, you know. They don't really tell me everything. I just do as I'm told, as...
I should do. You don't have to say it. I understand.
Mm-hmm. And what brought you out here to this?
Fate.
Fate is important. We all deal with fate in different ways. Some of us have to save the world, others are here.
There's like, if you could feel like the creaking of the wood seat beneath them as they're taking the tension that is building up in their head, taking it down here, moving it down to their buttocks, down to their feet. It comes back up. I will do everything in my power to get you to Hope's Breath quickly, safely, and efficiently.
Your service is greatly appreciated. Sorry, can I say something? Can I admit something?
You can.
This is new for me as well. I'm still getting used to how to interact with the common folk and how to carry myself. It's very stressful. I feel like I have to.
This
people
must
put
be
me on
very
this
hard for you.
pedestal, and I have to deal with things that people can't relate to, and well, it's uncomfortable, and I feel like I can really relate to you, Roland. And
Thank you.
what was
my
your name
lord?
again?
Rolange.
That's what I said.
It is, my lord. If I may, while I don't necessarily consider myself skilled in wordsmithing, I would be more than happy to practice with you for the commoners' topics.
Sure. Yes. What do commoners like? See, I've spent a long time in the school, and what do they do? What kind of magic do they craft?
You watch as they're beginning to start their conversation, like, oh,
Are they more of the nature magic?
Yes,
magic
yes.
Common? Yes.
Here,
yes. And
a
how
topic.
advanced are they in that?
Here's the topic I might recommend for our conversation
Okay.
today. Did you see the storm front rolling in?
Well, that's awfully boring, don't you think? I mean, aren't there plenty of storm fronts? Well, why don't we just leave that to the druids?
Okay. How about this one? The crops have been doing quite well this season.
Oh, that's good, seeing as I'm alive. Of course they're doing well. Otherwise, we'd have all starved by now.
Matilda is expecting her 7th.
7? Now that is interesting. How?
You watch it like, oh God.
What of the other 6? How do they develop different personalities? Are they all just like clones?
And you watch as he leans in for a second. He's like trying to fight the urge to gossip here.
Tell me.
To be
This
honest,
Matilda.
my lord, after you have 5, they do start to repeat.
What are the names? Do they repeat after 5?
He like sits back and leans in the chair like, this is all right. And he says, for the life of me, I can't tell them apart. I don't know any of their names. I just wait for someone else to say it.
You know, I think we just found the first thing we have in common.
My lord, that brings me great pleasure. And as this person sits back in the chair and begins to head further in, you settle in too, feeling slightly more comfortable in this. You are uncomfortable in that you are an ounce of what is known to you. But this was a task, something that you picked up, learned, developed, and clearly excelled at small talk.
Check.
And you sit, and as you get nearer to the village of Hope's Breath, you see that the fields begin to part more so into the actual active farmlands and more some of the rolling countryside. And you see that there appears to be a small cemetery up on one of the hills. And you can see that there appears to be a figure, some bipedal humanoid figure standing atop the hill. And for the realistic understanding concern to the situation, there's nothing really out of the ordinary about that. With the exception of one thing. Hecate. Hecate appears to be frozen in time. Cart continues moving forward. individual next to you seems to be yammering away, thinking that they've found something, and they just talk about all of the other progeny of the village. How much is too much? What are their names? Hecate appears to be frozen, looking off that direction, towards the woman on the hill.
A moment. And I'll pull out my watch. Pause time. And
You pull out your watch and it was already paused.
Who did that? I look at Hecate and I'll reach out for him.
As soon as you touch Hecate, they come back to you.
What's going on? What is it? Who is she?
You watch as Hecate was made of paper. It looks like their eyes begin to almost like swirl and spin. Like there's some type of arcane aura where the eyes should be as they are attempting to focus in and get a better look at this woman up on the hill.
Roland, stop the car.
Yes, my lord.
I'll look at the owl one more time.
It seems to be locked on in the direction of the individual on the hill.
Is she looking over at us?
No. Appears to have back to you. It's far enough away to not make out some of the distinguishing features, close enough to be able to tell that they appear to have long black hair that seems to be blowing in a light breeze.
Who is she? Do you recognize that woman?
My lord, it is my greatest unfortune to inform you that I do not know who that is.
Very well. Wait here, if you would.
I would not dream of leaving this place.
Okay. Dramatic. And Icarus,
I'm sorry.
It's okay. There. And I'll kind of pat him on the sweaty shoulder.
There is not that he's like truly afraid that you're going to hit him, but there is a flinch. And they close their eyes and lean into it a little bit.
Okay. He'll just dismount from the carriage and kind of cradle the owl a little and be like, okay, if there's any important information, I would really appreciate it before we talk to the creepy woman.
You watch as the words that are on the page that make up this owl's body all disappear. It looks like they've fallen off.
Thank you very much for that. Okay. And I'll kind of like toss him in the air, not in like a harmful way, but just like, I don't need you anymore.
Toss them up in the air. There's a single flap and they freeze.
Okay. I'll walk straight towards the woman. Icarus is not one to stop and smell the roses or take in his surroundings, so I'm going to ignore all of the gravestones, all of the surroundings, and just
They're dead.
tunnel vision.
So why would you focus on them?
The past.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
And this individual turns around. Again, it appears to be a female identifying individual. They appear to be somewhere in the realm of like 5'8", 5'9". They've got paler skin. As you are getting closer to them, you see that the long black hair appears to almost fade in and out. There's some whites, some grays, some silvers. And the way that the morning light is catching on there, it almost seems to glitter a little bit, but not as if they've actually put glitter in their hair, but just the sun catches the different colors in different ways. They have fair features, but they're wearing remarkably plain and simple garb. Appears to be a white gown that appears to be cinched among the waist with just some cloth, some textile cloth, possibly scrap. And they spin around and look at you. Have you come to pay your respects?
Sure. Yes. Sure.
That's why I'm here.
And he'll kind of look around, caught off guard by the question.
I come to pay my respects to those who don't have anyone left to remember them. Those who've been forgotten to time.
A problem all too familiar, though I don't plan to be one of them myself.
Oh, we all fear being forgotten. Being forgotten's not the worst thing.
No, then what is?
Being remembered for all the wrong reasons.
Infamy. I don't know. If someone remembers you for the wrong reasons, there might be people out there who aren't interested enough to dig in and find what you really meant. That's something. It's a legacy of some sort. Maybe not a good one.
Well, there will always be people to dig, to investigate, to inspect. Look, here, it's an interesting exercise. And she points further down the row, and you see that there appear to be aged, almost ancient tombstones, weathered, faded from time, hard to make out. You see ones that are clearly more recent, and you look down to the right, and you see that there is a freshly dug and covered grave. Some people have more time than others, yet it's not necessarily the responsibility of those who come after us to determine somebody's worth, is it? It's the choices that we make with the time that we're given, right?
I would like to believe that, of course. That's a noble and, well, comforting notion, but humans are fickle, and that our histories are deeply flawed, and that's what's remembered.
I've been known to make a few mistakes myself. We all do. We're all human.
Who do you know here?
Oh, I've come for... Well, are you coming to the services? And she points down to the freshly dug grave.
Do I have the box on me?
You do.
I suppose. Who is this?
I don't know the young girl's name, but I have a feeling she will be missed dearly. So, although I don't know her, I think it's worth my time.
Absolutely. Well, I'll follow you then. And just kind of looking around, he'll kind of wander over to the oldest grave. He'll just kneel down to get a closer look.
The oldest grave, if you go by timeline, only goes back roughly 350 to 400 years. There is nothing here before that. And even on those, it is almost impossible to make out names, even lineages or family names. You could spend some time restoring it, but even with basic magics, you wouldn't be able to clean it. The face has been scarred and essentially washed away with time.
Do you know who lies here?
No, I don't.
But you would say that their life, to be the first one buried here, must have been good enough that no one from here on till the future needs to remember them. Is that what you're trying to say?
To think that their merit or worth is simply assessed by them being first, being the most, being in any form grandiose in their accomplishments. I think it's a miscalculation.
I don't make many of those.
I have no idea what that individual did with the time they had on this planet. But not even the diviners can get a good sense of what our real purpose is here. They can draw threads of what meaning is. They can attempt to read the stars, see what the heavens tell us. Only we, in the lives that we live individually, sometimes in small groups, can determine if we've lived a life well lived. So I don't come here to appreciate them for the merit of their life, the value that they put into the world. I come here to thank them for the time that they spent here.
What if the time we spend here isn't for ourselves, though? Then what? Is that not a life lived well?
To live a life for others? Well, to me, that sounds like the highest of callings.
What if you destroy the ones you care about to save those you never will meet?
And she looks down towards the freshly dug grave. Well, I imagine there will always be individuals willing to dig. I know you said you'd follow me, but I'd like to finish up my prayers here.
Sure.
I imagine, well, you don't look like you're from around here, so I imagine that you must be delivering something or coming to purchase something, or...
Yes, something of that matter. I'm on my way to Hope's Breath.
Well, I hope you find what you're looking for, or at least get what you need from your visit.
I do too.
My name is Kyrie, by the way.
Kyrie. And he puts out a hand.
She goes, she grasps it.
Icarus.
It's a pleasure to have spent time with you today.
And you as well. And looking at her, does she have any symbols or anything, or is it just...
She could not be more plain of garb.
He just kind of pauses for a moment and just ponders their conversation and looks back. I assume she goes back to her.
She continues walking down the rows, spending a little bit of time at each one.
And I'll return to the cart.
As you pass back underneath where Hecate is, they immediately begin to circle in their infinity-style figure eights. They make their way back. My lord, that didn't take you any time at all. You walked right up there and walked straight back. I imagined you wanted to speak to them.
I remembered that I am on important business, Roland, and I
I should
decided
remember that as well, I understand.
Yes.
Hold on! Yeah! Trudge, trudge, trudge.
I'll try and do my best to, in my notebook, just scribble down some of the things that she said and her name.
Okay. Kyrie. You make it to Hope's Breath. This is a remarkably small farming village. It is almost instantaneous that you find this small house, small farm, that was on that silver disc. Outside of it, you see that it looks like there's an apiary that they keep bees. You see there's a small hutch for rabbits. You see, it looks like they even have, it looks to be domesticated turkeys and things out and around here as well. There's a number of other creatures that they seem to be well versed in taking care of in this small place. The thing that stands out to you as you see this home in person for the first time is you see that they have what appears to be, in real life here, you know that during COVID they brought those see-through igloos out for us to dine in outside, inside. And we did that. And it looks like they've got one of those, and you can see that there are these small multicolored insects flitting to and fro inside this.
Are there any that stand out to me?
Several, I imagine. As you get closer, you can clearly make out that they appear to be butterflies.
Oh, that's nice.
You see all of the equivalent of fantasy curtains all appear to be shuttered on this home. You see that there is, even at this time of day, that there is an oil lantern out front. But the oil lantern has a flame in it that is burning black.
Don't know what that means.
This is not a custom from the Lorendale coast of Aloria. And I would go so far as to say that Icarus probably is aware that it's some type of mourning ritual. Mm-hmm. You probably don't know the specifics because you've probably never cared enough to look at them.
I will approach the the butterflies and put out my hand for one or two, or however many.
See, there's like small areas where they're able to get in and out of this if they so wish, and you watch as a single butterfly kind of comes up onto your finger for a split second, and almost seeing this as an invitation. Says, well, maybe I won't stay in there any longer. Maybe I'll go somewhere else. And just flits off further into the woods beyond the village. You can hear crying from inside the house as you're close enough now to the butterfly hutch.
He's kind of broken out of his trance of watching the butterfly, and he'll turn and run towards the village, the crying specifically.
It sounds, it's hard to make out. Appears to be muffled cries from within. The door is shut. What would you like to do?
I'll look at the box for a second. Anything on it?
Hasn't gotten any heavier, hasn't gotten any lighter. Nothing's changed with it. Fairly plain.
Is there a window I can look in?
All of them are shuttered.
That's right. Well, lead with manners. I'll knock on the door.
You knock on the door.
Excuse me. Important business. Or here to help. Or something.
You hear a chair scoot out, and you hear someone say, it's a deeper masculine voice, "Dear, that must be them. I imagine they've sent the belongings." And they come and open the door.
What do I see?
You see two human figures. Looks to appear a female individual sitting in a chair. They're covered with a shawl. And even though they're covered with a shawl, you can tell that they've been crying. And the man who comes out, who comes to greet you, also has been crying, but you can see someone who is holding the face muscles back with a tightening of their jaw to ensure that they are being strong in the moment.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am sorry for your loss. I have brought, this.
We were expecting this, yes, thank you. You've traveled far. Don't let my...
Oh, please, it was
Please, come in. Come in.
light travel.
And takes the box, but like almost grabs your arm and pulls you in.
Okay.
Would you like something to to drink?
No, I'm fine. It really wasn't that rough.
Here, dear. You should look first. And he goes and he places the box down onto what you are assuming is his wife, his partner's legs. She begins to sob. And even though you were still talking to this individual, they go over and begin to get something to drink for you, because that's what you do when you entertain a guest in your home, and they bring it over with a shaky hand. Here, thanks for you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm not much for conversation.
There's no
today.
need. I've had plenty today.
And you can hear the box opening. Not like it's hermetically sealed or anything, but there's a slight scraping of the box on box, the lid on box, and she lets it clatter down. And this is clearly something that's been enchanted. And it's much deeper and much larger on the inside than it is on the outside. And she begins to weep. And she just brings her head down into the box. And as she pulls her head back up, you can see that she simultaneously is reaching in there, and she pulls up the most beautiful gown that you've ever seen. Only you've seen this gown before. It looks like the night sky. It dances with the very stars themselves. You see a comet with its tail circling about, and even though she is just pulling it up and holding onto it, it seems to ripple out as if there was wind here still, just like it did that night atop the observation tower at the academy when she asked you, what if we just left? We don't have to go through with this. We could be safe somewhere together. And you finally see the resemblance in the woman. There's no doubt in your mind that is the mother of Elpis Amberzine. And the father speaks up. We bury my daughter today.
You did?
Symbolically, we don't have a body, but the academy told us what happened.
Yes, the academy.
Did you know her?
I did. I did briefly. And she was the best.
And you see he begins to cry. And he's smiling while he's crying.
Icarus turns away as a single tear rolls out of his eye, and he tries to hide it the best he can. Is there anything I can do for you? Anything at all? I'm a greatly powerful individual, and, well, I've had a lot of time to prepare. I'd like to help.
We're doing a small service later.
Yes.
Stay for the service.
Are you sure you want me there?
You said you knew them. I imagined you were friends.
Yeah, friends. Sure. Yes, I'll attend. I have time.
I'm sure that would mean a lot to her.
Yeah. I'm sure it would.
And as you're having this conversation, you watch as this mother pulls out a bundle. It's like it's bound journals. A couple of loose leaf papers sticking out. Icarus, you know that those are the personal journals of Elpis Ambrosine. What would you like to do?
I will take a moment to think. Oh, fuck. And I will rush over and grab something on my person and just swap it.
Okay.
I put the owl in her hand.
Heck, it's the closest thing. You Indiana Jones this real quick. You rush back over to your spot.
I tell my cloak, I go, open up.
Immediately, drawers shoot out.
Impressive.
Shuts. And the mother, comes to after 6 seconds. This must have
been her familiar. She had a way with animals, even those made out of paper. And I'm staring, making eye contact with the owl, and I'm like...
You watch as she, swirls about in her chair. I think I should rest.
That would be good. Grief is very a difficult thing for our minds to handle.
And she just sits the box down on a small table next to her and just pulls up a blanket into this chair, and that cannot be comfortable. But it's almost like she's trying to comfort herself with just holding on to the blanket. If there's nothing else, I'd like to be with my wife.
Sure. Do you mind if I look around? Just want to remember her is all.
He kind of brings up a finger to tap you on the insignia on your robe and knows better than to actually do it. I can't imagine you'll find anyone in this town who will say no to you.
That's why I'm asking you.
You have my permission.
And he'll go to where he assumes her room is.
I'm going to give you an opportunity, Icarus. I could describe what her room looks like, but I don't think there's anyone else who knows and understands her better than you. Because what you find is a time capsule of her childhood bedroom. It's been a while since she's been here, but her parents and her family never changed it. They never did anything. They never moved anything, never removed or threw anything away. Why don't you tell me what you found there at that time?
I think her room is almost a the prequel to the way she arranged herself in the academy. It is a mix of nature and drawings of animals and spells. There are trees that have somehow magically been growing, and there are just little things like little personal notes and letters and so many just little things from all the people of the village, just like there were at the academy, where everyone was her friend. Everyone wanted to say something nice to her. Everyone wanted to let her know how much they appreciated her. And he just kind of has this smirk on his face as he's looking at just the overwhelming positivity of everything and how innocent and pure it all is. And without being ignorant to all of the evident knowledge and power that is here too, with some pretty advanced arcane notes and textbooks and all the stuff she would have done preparing for school.
Icarus, there are things here that remind you that had she chosen to graduate, she would not have rivaled you. She likely would have surpassed you. And that is a challenging thing, I think, for you to sit with in that moment.
Still have much to learn. I think it would have been better together, but that was not our fate.
And as you stand, it's a small house, but it still has a small second story to this, which is where you found her room. Your gaze is drawn out the window, beyond the furthest row of houses, beyond some of the market stands, to the edge of the wood. And you see the light has shifted as you spend some time here, as it begins to cast some shadows from the wood coming your direction. But a beam of light is able to highlight and illuminate, and you see that there is a large stag that is coming out of the woods. And you see that this stag is, for the most part, white, pale. You can see that it has some dappled markings on it. As it stands there, you watch as it seemingly knows and looks up, and you can tell just by the massive array of horns that it has. And it paws at the ground, and it turns its head away from you and heads back into the wood. And regardless of your understanding of local fauna, you are familiar with the concept of the White Hart, or guardian of the wood. Something, someone, some creature, some entity, some being that is a representation of something far old, arguably older than the gods that many of the mortals worship, something primal in nature. You also remember a conversation with Elpis, as she referenced some reverence to this great stag. And you even saw it on her dress, the constellation of the White Hart. And as this breaks your vision, the owl, seemingly having escaped from Elpis Ambrazine's mother, flies up, resting on the ledge, and quickly, almost with a portkey-esque, pops back into a different shape, and it's a scroll, and it falls onto the ledge of the window, and it's got a web-like marking on it.
Grab it.
Crack the seal.
Mm-hmm.
Open it up. It says, "It is done." Line below it materializes. Further instructions await you in Port Haven.
I look back, thinking to the promise I made to her parents. Do I get the feeling I have time for that?
Icarus, you have all the time that you are willing to create for this. It's not whether or not you have time, It's whether or not you choose to make time. You think back to something Kyrie said on the hill. It is how we choose to spend our time in the moments that we are given that decide the type of persons that we are.
He's at a crossroads of his own as he once again is faced with a choice of something bigger than him that he doesn't understand, or something that he does and wants to do. And while he didn't make that choice before, he rolls up the scroll and crumples it, and then with a small cantrip burns it. He knows where to go next. He doesn't need it. And he'll have his robes change into all black. And wishing to somewhat disguise his eyes a little bit, he pulls his hand across his face as half of a mask appears. And he goes downstairs.
And we will stop there for this evening, as you have made the decision, just as you remember it, to stay, to attend the funeral of Elvis Ambrosine. How you feeling, Noah?
Not good. Sad. But how was Icarus feeling? Rebellious and, more than that, galvanized by what he learned that day. For a year, he'd been broken down into like a dust of just do whatever you want, tell me whatever to do, I'll do it. But this brought back that fire, that ego almost of, no, I'm doing it my way. And he goes downstairs to stand in the background of the most guilty event of his life. So,
And I'm really excited to see what Icarus does with that renewed fire and vigor.
me as well.
Well, hopefully we'll find out soon on the upcoming episodes of The Shifting Realm. Thanks for hanging out, everybody.